Hi, I'm Suzanne Simpson. I'm the president of Human Resource Systems Group, or in the market we're known as HRSG. The company was founded 17 years ago, and we offer services, consulting services and products to our companies and our clients in the human resource management field. We founded the company 17 years ago. I was the sole proprietor at the time. We have 30 employees and 30 associates, over 30 in both cases, who together offer our consulting services and products worldwide. Our product, iSkill Suite, is offered to, is being provided to companies in over 85 countries around the world. And our services are being provided principally to the federal government, but we're also evolving our consulting services to support our product line to all our private sector clients that are around the world. So we've had a great deal of success over the years, and I've had a lot of fun doing this. It's fun having the talent that we have on board, and I enjoy coming to work every day and working with these people. And I look forward to many more years to come.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
How did you get into business?
I was working for large organizations prior to starting HRSG. Providing a lot of the policies, programs, solutions that HRSG offers. The problem was at the time that I was having some difficulty having the level of impact or the decision-making power that I really wanted to have. So I decided to start this firm, HRSG, and we had a vision to become a worldwide organization at the time and to offer integrated human resource management solutions to our clients. And we've stuck to that vision over the years, and it's turned out very, very well for us.
So you stuck to the vision. When you first started, did you have a goal starting out?
The goal was basically to become what we are today, to offer consulting services in the human resource management field, to provide solutions that were integrated, and by that I mean organizations often work in little silos. So you see recruitment being offered, not connected to the training once employees get into the organization, not connected to other pieces of the human resource management process. So our goal was to provide integrated solutions for our clients. While we might not be working on the whole human resource management system, each part of that equation had to be integrated and fit with the whole picture so organizations were more successful.
In describing that, it strikes me that your job, obviously, from when you started 17 years ago to what you're actually doing now, your job has evolved. So maybe you could talk a little bit about how your job has evolved over the years.
Well, when I started, I was the only person doing the work. So I had to be chief cook and bottle washer at the same time. So quickly we acquired more business and more business that I could manage. So we started bringing on employees and other partners in the organization. In fact, I hired one of the people who had worked with me at Canada Post Corporation before I started the company. So she's been with the company for 15 of the 17 years. And over time, we gradually grew the company. So it meant that I had to stop the doing and doing more of the managing of the company. So that was a role that I had to evolve into over the years, and hopefully reasonably successfully.
Was it hard to give that up?
It is, because the interesting part of what we do is working with the clients. So now a lot of my job really involves setting up the systems, the methodologies, the processes for doing the business and letting other talented people do that work.
So it sounds like you've developed an amazing team and had some close colleagues to work with. And obviously the success speaks for itself, but you're guided by a vision statement and a mission statement that I guess helps hold it all together for you and your staff. In there it talks about unique and strategic approaches. Is it hard to be, or creative approaches rather, is it hard to be unique and creative all the time, and how do you keep things creative?
I think by having very talented people, you can be creative if you're open to new ideas and new directions, new ways of looking at things, and bringing on board very, very bright and talented people who will work together. Also, the people have to be prepared to share information, cooperate. This is not an environment where you want people who are egocentric and unwilling to share their ideas and their solutions with others. So I think that's how you can stay ahead of the game and be very creative in your work.
So that must be one of the things, but what do you attribute your personal success?
What do I attribute my personal? I think it's just sticking with it. As I said before, the dogged determination and being focused on where you want to go and what you want to achieve, working with your team in order to get there, recognizing talent when you need it. So if you don't have the personal capabilities to do certain kinds of things, you go find that talent and you bring them on board and not be threatened by them. Bring them into the fold and allow them to work with you to create the vision.
Okay, I'm going to try a little TV thing here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to ask you the same question again. I'd like to try to get the whole answer as close as we can, without the, as I said before,
Okay.
because it slipped in there. So
Okay.
just going forward, we have just 2 or 3 more questions left. Don't refer to anything you can say the same thing again.
Yes,
That's
okay.
I'm trying to get it as
Okay.
one answer. So,
All right, thank
so
you.
What do you attribute your success?
Being determined, having a vision for the company, sticking to your vision, finding the talent that you really need in order to make the corporation or the organization successful, recognizing that talent once you have them on board, making them part of the team, making sure that everybody cooperates and works as a team to share their knowledge and their capabilities to make the organization a success.
Excellent. So we've talked a little bit about your trials and tribulations and your stick-with-itness and dogged determination, as you called it. At what point, or was there a point along the way where you said, "Yeah, I could do this"?
I think I'll say we because in effect there's been someone in my life, my husband, who's been an extreme supporter for me. We had a vision and we had a sense of where the company needed to go. There were challenges along the way. And yes, I'd say we had a sense that we could do it, but I'd say within the last 5 years or so we've said, okay, we're really where we thought we were going to be when we started this company, because we had a very large vision for it.
And how did it feel?
It feels good, darn good. In fact, you walk around and you see these great people that we work with, and I say to myself, boy, am I ever lucky.
So obviously family you've referred to a couple of times. Let's talk a little, is an important facet of the evolution of your company and your personal growth as well, I would imagine. Let's talk a little bit about work-life balance and what that means to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, first of all, the people that we have here in this company, they're all great people. So for me, it isn't a big challenge to come to work and do the job that I do and be with the people that are here. So it isn't difficult. Yes, there are long hours. So that part of it doesn't feel onerous. In terms of my family, my daughter is a competitive horse show jumper, and she's very passionate about this sport. And so over the years, I've made sure that I've had time to go and cheer her on, be with her when she's taking her lessons, go to her competitions with her. I've done that too. I like traveling. I like traveling with my husband and spending time with him. I like having friends and family over for dinner and a glass of wine with them. So I've always done that. Sometimes the exercise and the diet, that's hard to do, and when you're spending the long hours. But I've tried to keep myself in shape, although I don't know I've always been successful doing that. But
are you always able to make time for work when it's time to make time for work and time to make time for family or whatever it be?
Yes, I think one of the things that we've done in the organization, and I've done it myself and I've encouraged my employees to do this as well, is we've set our office up so that you can work almost anywhere. So if you're feeling not well a particular day, you just want to stay home but work a little bit, you can connect remotely and do that. If you've got a child that isn't well, then you feel free to stay home, work with them, work at home, help them, whatever you need to do. So we set the organization up in such a way that people feel comfortable taking time for themselves or dealing with family matters or whatever.
So a little bit of off the beaten track question, a couple of those if you'll indulge them. And first one would be who's been the most or one of the most influential people, and I mean it in your life, and I mean it from a business sense as well as from a personal sense. Who do you look up to? And what have they taught you?
Okay. Well, there's been a couple of people, if you'll allow me to speak to a couple of them. When I was growing up, I was never told that it was impossible or we couldn't do it. In fact, I'm old enough to remember when women were told, well, you can't do that or you can't do this. It's not, women shouldn't be allowed to do that. And when I first experienced that going into the market, the world of work, I was surprised, a little taken aback, and a little annoyed about the situation. And part of that was my mother. My mother actually managed a male-dominated area. She managed an oil company, in fact, delivered oil, driving the truck herself from time to time to get to the product to the clients. So that's one person. I think my husband as well has been another big person in my life. He's been an extremely supportive individual. He's been very helpful in the business. He actually is part of the business now. He has an incredible ability to see the large picture, to connect the dots where other people can't see those connections. So he's been a great person to bounce ideas off and to be my partner, basically, in all respects.
That's great. So if you could be another person, someone else for a day, who might that be?
I looked at that question when you asked me that question. I have a hard time answering that question because I'm really having a lot of fun doing what I'm doing right now. If I could be somebody else for a day, maybe a competitive horse show jumper or something really wild and out there like that. But I really like what I'm doing, so I just want to be me.
That's awesome. Very last question, coming back to the more work-related things. Could you give me one sort of achievement or one accomplishment somewhere along the way in the business or in the people development or whatever it was, of which you're most proud?
Well, I think just starting the firm and having it in operation for the last 17 plus years and having it become the success it's become is one of the accomplishments that I would point to. But I'd also like to point to another one that's outside this business world completely. At one point in my career, I was in the Canadian Forces. I was an officer, uniformed officer, and during my career there, I was involved in the whole business of introducing women into areas where they had not been employed before, into combat roles and near combat roles. And I did a lot of research while I was in the Canadian Forces. And after I left the Canadian Forces, there was a major human rights case where I was called as an expert witness. Now, the result of that case was that women, all opportunities were open to women in the Canadian Forces. This was around the 1987 time frame. So now women across Canada and in the Canadian Forces have equal opportunities with men. So that's why you see them over there in Afghanistan and you see them flying combat planes, etc. So I'm really quite proud of that. Now, that wasn't me just alone, but I had a role to play and I'm very proud of that role.